Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Asmus Toys Lord of the Rings 1/6 scale collectible figure of Gothmog. Gothmog from Return of the King. This is an absolutely fantastic piece. When I saw images of Gothmog, I wanted to pick him up. Produced by Asmus Toys, who are producing a whole slew. I think they've actually got quite a considerable lineup of Lord of the Ring property figures coming to us in the coming year or so. Box-wise, we've got Lord of the Rings featured on the front there. 1/6 scale collectible action figure down below, Gothmog and Asmus Toys down below. We spin around the side of the box, and we've got some scripture down the side there. And on the back of the box, it says, "Warning, please read the instruction carefully before you open this product. This product is suitable for ages 15 and up. This product is not suitable for children under 3 years of age due to small parts, which may cause choking hazard. Some components are rather sharp in shape and fragile. Exercise care during unpacking and disposing. Please keep out of the reach of children younger than 15 years of age." You can head over to www.asmustoys.com, check out the slew of different property figures that they're covering, all the way from the likes of Pet Detective, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Lord of the Rings, and other pieces as well. When we spin around the box, it is a shoe style box, so what we can do is we can take the front flap sleeve off, revealing inside the Gothmog, the interchangeable hands, and some of the weapons that come included with the figure. I can tell you, even before opening this up and getting the figure out of packaging, I can tell you that the Gothmog is considerably heavy. It seems heavier than a lot of the other 1/6 scale figures that we've looked at on this channel. Spot's going to take a break and get this completely out of packaging, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Asmus Toys Lord of the Rings Gothmog 1/6 scale figure. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Before looking at the Gothmog, let's look at the base and other accessories that come included with him. For starters, you get yourself one of two different display stands depending on how you want to present your Gothmog. One is more of a standard display stand, kind of what we would see with other 1/6 scale figures. Featured on the front, Lord of the Rings, and it does have the adjustable neck that you can just clip into place like so. Furthermore, though, if you want to go a little more diorama-ish, what you can also use is the inclusion of the Lord of the Rings display stand, more shaped like an actual rock surface. This is one of the weighted pieces that I was mentioning in the package end of the review that is added to the weight of the box itself. On the underside, Lord of the Rings 1/6 scale collectible figure of the Gothmog, down below Asmus Toys. Nice felt feet on the underside too, so there won't be any scratching when you put this on a desk surface. But equally so, what you can do is take the neck off of the standard display stand, and you can fit it into the rock display stand. And it's a little more of a squeeze fit there, but you can get something that looks like this. Not really sure which one Spot would actually rather go with. I love the inclusion of the rock, especially I love the blood that they've put all over the surface area. Also too, like the paintwork, it looks as if it's an actual rock piece. It looks like I would have actually pulled this from outside. The cracks and all the surface area there really adds to the realism that I would come to expect from Asmus Toys. So I'm not really sure which way I would actually like to present it. The more standard 1/6 scale, presenting it as a 1/6 scale piece, or something more geared towards presenting it as if it's a diorama piece. The other piece that you probably saw off camera here is a very gruesome corpse piece. This would be a Gondorian soldier. Well, at least the remains of a soldier. And let me say, Asmus Toys did not spare anything when it came to the very gruesome details on this piece. Right from the gash at the top, the severed hand, or severed arm, the severed head, and of course the whole lower torso completely gone. I guess lower torso, upper torso, lower half. Despite the fact that it's more just a stump accessory piece, some really fantastic details on the front there. One of the reasons why I like Asmus Toys as well too is that when they do like metal work and they do armor, it looks like an actual armored piece. There is no articulation or anything to speak of in the stump end of it or the corpse end of it. It's something that really could just adorn the side of the display stand, especially like the stone stand. Maybe not so much necessarily the standard display stand, but the stone stand especially. You could have the Gothmog standing over top of his, you know, quite defeated enemy. Other accessories you'll get included with Gothmog is this really impressive spiked mace. It seems sharper than actually what it is. It does have sharp points to it, but nothing that you have to worry about pricking or, you know, causing damage to yourself. By that logic, though, it is a solid piece, so, you know, do be careful. You wouldn't want to be swinging this actually as a weapon. What I like, though, is, too, that it looks like it's been hammered and forged by hand. It doesn't look like it actually is, you know, machine created. It looks like something had actually gone in there and smashed and chiseled out these features. The handle on the end of it is removable. I'll show you that reason why in a second. But really a nice piece. Not a lot of paint, but certainly where it misses in paint, it makes up for it in sculpt. You also get this really impressive sword, which does look, again, like it's got a sharp edge to it, but luckily it's not sharp at all. The sculpting on it, though, is very impressive. Again, looking as if somebody had tooled this rather than have this been made by machine. Even like on the sides, it looks like something, again, that the Gothmog or minions of the Gothmog would have crafted for him. The edge is very rough and jagged, and then we've got the remains of several different layers of blood. One more fresh in color and then a darker coloring of red on the side. So he's used it frequently, possibly even to subdue or defeat his victim down here. Also, the handle is removable, as you saw right there. The handle then does come off, and again, that will play a role when changing the weapons out. Lastly, you get one interchangeable hand, which would be perfect for holding weapons, both the spiked mace and sword. Now, when you are installing the pieces, you're going to want to make sure you take the ends off, and then this piece will slide through, and then you're going to cap it off at the bottom. That way you don't have to worry, and it's smart that they did this, that way you don't have to worry that the weapon, you have to really force in there with the end being larger than the handle itself. Brings us to the very impressive Gothmog himself, and as equally weighted as the bases were, the Gothmog 1/6 scale figure is very, very heavy. It's much heavier than some of the other 1/6 scale figures that we've looked at on this channel. One thing, again, that Asmus Toys is very good at doing is giving the indication of armor. This has a very realistic approach to the armor that the Gothmog and really the other armies would have used in Lord of the Rings. It's got several layers as well. So under all of it, he's got this cranberry colored bodysuit that I guess stretches the full length from head to toe on the Gothmog. And then on top of that, he's got strapped armor pieces. Very large pieces on his thighs, and equally large pieces on his chest and side shoulder area. The head of Gothmog is very movie accurate, a really gorgeous looking sculpt, and equally accented by phenomenal paint on the face. As well, on the very back of the face, they've applied additional hair, additional realistic looking hair, just giving it more the realism that you would come to expect. It also looks as well, yes they did, they've included some actual hair out of the ears of the Gothmog. What certainly sells this piece, though, is the phenomenal paint. Had this just been painted one color, the details would have been phenomenal, but by adding all the multiple layers to it, there's probably about 3 to 6 layers of different color on the face, it really brings out a lot of those details. There's also a certain level of wetness that they've applied to the face too, giving it that sense of realism, especially the recessed areas of his eyes. that dark color that they've put in there really gives that element, gives it that idea that that eye has been long decayed. In fact, even closer inspection, it looks like there is an area, a socket area, where that eye has decayed and rotted. I especially like the wetness that they've put on the one ear. Now the other ear has not done as well. That would be the ear that has the hair all in it. But the wetness of the ear definitely gives it that sense of life. While we're really talking about fur as well, I love that they've included this fur pelt on the back of the Gothmog. Again, adding a level of realism to it that you really would not find very often with 1/6 scale figures. By really the sheer weight of the Gothmog, I would say it's the kind of figure that you would want to have with a display stand. It's not to say he can't stand, but all the extra weight in the armor that they put on the top and the heavier head makes him a little top heavy. So I would say definitely get him on the display stand, and that way you can display him and not run the risk that he would fall. Showing you some details on the one hand, you can see the mutated pig-style hand that he's got here. Decayed fingernails, what was the remains of fingernails, and this really decayed hand. All of which, again, brought forth with this phenomenal paint. To have weapons in his hand, you're going to actually just reach over and pop the hand out. You have to be a little careful, too, because when you pop the hand out, the sleeve is prone to moving forward. Then take the additional hand, the one with the partially open hand, and you're going to snap that into the place of the socket. Then for this, well, you know what, let's go with the mace on this one. We're going to pull the mace handle out. We're going to take it and be very careful again with the figure. Slide the handle through the fist, and then you're going to take the cap and put it on the bottom of the handle. It's definitely a secure fit to get the mace or sword in his hand just because the handles are so broad on the weapons. But the end result, though, is a really nice looking piece. And to have it with the stone base and the severed corpse, that is a great way to display the Gothmog. The Gothmog is presented on a standard body, which features over 36 points of articulation. That articulation is as follows. The Gothmog's head is on a very nice ball joint, so it does rotate left and right. Not really a lot down, but it can certainly move his head up. His shoulders are on a ball hinge socket, not completely limited by the fact that he's got the tunic and the extra armor on. He does swivel at the arm bicep area. It appears that he does have a double bend in the elbow, though it's a little more limited because he's got the armor on the underside of his arm. And he also does have a swivel and hinge in the hand. When it comes to his torso, well, his torso is a ball-jointed socket hinge. It should allow you to rotate left and right, up and down. Again, a little more limited, but I can explain, I can see why because of the armor piece on his chest. His legs do move forward, back, out. He has a swivel and double bend at the knee. And also he has a swivel and hinge in the foot. Some areas, such as your torso area, again, a little more limited, but I can see why. This is really Spot's first and not likely his last pickup for Asmus Toys. I was really excited to see what they've been producing with the likes of the Wraiths and of course now the Gothmog. Seeing now Gothmog in hand, which sometimes is the one thing, you kind of have to really see them in hand sometimes to gauge the toys. This figure, as well as some of the other properties that they're going to be covering, as well as the expansion of the Lord of the Rings, I can tell you this, the Lord of the Rings property is in good hands. If you guys certainly are interested in picking up the Gothmog for yourself and some of the other properties that Asmus Toys are producing, I'm going to provide links certainly down below, and you guys can head over and check them out. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Asmus Toys Lord of the Rings Return of the King 1/6 scale Gothmog. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots in your way. Certainly, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.